Hi guys, so it's Nurse Melly. First things first, I'm gonna apologize for waiting 8 months to make this video. Life happened, my first assignment happened. I'm now at the very end of my second assignment and have since extended. So I'm gonna back up a little bit. How was Atlanta? My number one question. Atlanta was great. It was bittersweet. I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have because I was by myself for the first couple weeks until my cousin came down, who is also a travel nurse, and we shared our space together. I'll talk more about that, but it was lonely. You know, she worked nights, I worked days. Neither one of us knew anybody there. Neither one of us have any family there aside from each other. It was hard. The worst thing about that assignment was the fact that I was so far away from home and I didn't know anybody. And although everybody that I work with was super friendly and, you know, wanted to do things with me, I just was not in the mood. I was just like, I'm not trying to make any friends. I want to go home. I miss home. So that's that. However, the work itself was much needed. So if you watched my previous video, you know that I worked at that hospital for 8.5 years. Not all 8.5 years was I a nurse, but I was exposed to the same types of patients for those 8 years. So I was in a completely different type of patient population, just seeing things that I had never seen before. So I love that aspect of it because, of course, in the moment you're like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? Now I'm looking back like, I'm a much stronger nurse after that. Like, go me, go me. So that was a good thing. Like, I definitely, you will grow as a travel nurse. Whether you want to or not, it will challenge you to grow. So that's one thing I do really, really enjoy about it. Another question that was asked was, did I take any time off? Because there's all these people that take all these months off and how do they do it and blah, blah, blah. Yes, so I had planned for 1 month off. My assignment ended December 1st and I had planned to go back to work like January 20th. That's what I wanted. However, you make a plan, God laughs at you. So I didn't get my second assignment until February 28th, which means I had 3 months off of work instead of 1 month off. I saved for 1 month. Figure that math out, exactly. So the stress came when the money started to run out and I was scrambling for an assignment. There was nothing coming through. So here's a travel nurse tip. Don't look for a new assignment at the beginning of the year. Most travel nurses take off around the holidays. Everybody's trying to go back to work January and February. So I was up against everybody else trying to find work. So my recruiter gave me the advice of, if you're gonna do an assignment at the end of the year, go somewhere where you would like to extend, because then you can extend throughout January and then just like maybe take the following month off. I didn't know that. Lesson learned. I know that now. So what did I do for money during that time? I worked a bunch of my per diem jobs. So I work with an agency who staffs in different hospitals, outpatient facilities, schools, home care. So I did whatever job that I needed to do to pay the bills. Now, fast forward, assignment number 2. Tomorrow, which is May 29th, is actually the last day of my second contract. However, I was asked and offered to extend, so I did extend. Here's another tip for you. If you extend at a facility, make sure you get more money. Obviously, they have a need. They still have that need. So make sure you get a little bit more money, which is what I did. That's all well and good. So now I extended for an additional 8 weeks because they felt like they didn't have a need for another 13 weeks. So I extended for another 8 weeks, which will take me out to July 20th. Now, last week, the manager comes down and asks me if I would like to take a staff position. That was a hard no. And then she asked if I could take a second extension after this July 20th extension. Initially, I thought about it, but they kind of crapped on my schedule for the second assignment, so I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do that or not. So with all these new experiences during this travel assignment, I've learned a couple of things. On your contract, Make sure you put the days off that you need. Whether you're local or not, make sure that you put, if you want to block your schedule, do that. If you don't want to work, every Monday, do that. Because when I say they crapped on my schedule on my extension, out of the 8 weeks that I'm working 6 Mondays and 6 Fridays. If you're an ER nurse, you know that Mondays are the worst days to work in the emergency room. So yes, I'm a little salty about that. And when I spoke to my recruiter today about the second extension, I definitely raised my rate, and I put in my contract that I will not work every Monday. So if they come back and say, yeah, we'll take you, I'll stay. If they say, no, we need you to do X, Y, and Z, and if that doesn't work for me, I'll say no. Beauty of travel nursing. Make your own schedule. Know your worth and add tax to it, okay? Now, what else? I had a couple questions. Sorry, this is not my thing. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I'm literally recording this on my iPhone and reading questions off of the screen. Someone asked about local assignments. So right now I am anywhere between 25 and 30 miles away from home. So that makes me a local traveler. The benefits being a local traveler is that you get to come home every night. You make more money. So I'm not making as much money as I made in Atlanta because I don't have that tax-free stipend, but I am making more money than I made at my staff job, which is always the goal. So you just get a higher hourly rate and you get taxed on everything. So that kind of sucks. But again, the benefit is that you get to come home every night. So if you got homesick like I did, you can always do that. Or you could go somewhere a little further out and still do like kind of local, where you could maybe drive home every week, which is still better than being away from home for 3 months at a time. So with my company, and every company is different, with my company, as long as you're 50 miles away from home, you will get your stipend. Now, I've seen companies say that they want you 65 miles away from home or 70 miles away from home, but my company just wants you to requires you to be 50 miles away from home in order for you to get your tax-free stipend. So since I'm 25 to 30 miles away from home, I forfeit my stipend, but I get a higher hourly rate and I get to come home every night. So that's the difference between local travel and just a regular travel assignment that includes all those lovely tax-free stipends that we all love. How do extensions work? So if the hospital is still in dire need of a traveler around that midway point, that 5th, 6th, 7th week of your contract, if they want you, they're going to come to you and ask you, are you interested in extending? And if they don't ask you, ask them, do you think you guys are still going to be using travelers? If so, I'm interested, whatever the case may be. I was offered an extension while in Atlanta, but they wanted me to complete a second assignment. They were willing to give me a month off of work, 2 months off of work for me to come back and do 13 more weeks. I didn't want to do 13 more weeks. I just wanted to come home. I did want to extend for an additional, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks at the time, just to take me up until Christmas. And they were not having that. They were like, nope, you either do 13 weeks or you do nothing. So I left. And now I'm in this assignment. So my 13 weeks again will be completed tomorrow, and I'll be working on extension number 1 starting tomorrow until July 20th. And stay tuned to see if I extend for extension number 2, which I really don't want to. I just want to take the rest of the summer off and work my per diem job. So I might just do that. I'm being very, very picky with this extension because they crapped on my schedule. So I'm asking for the exact amount that I want, and I'm not budging, and the exact schedule that I want, and I'm not budging. So that's that. I'm trying to think of any other questions. Oh, I got asked about what I brought to Atlanta. So while I was in Atlanta, again, I shared that space with my cousin, who's also a travel nurse. We decided to take our stipend money, put our money together, and split the cost of living out there. So of course we banked a lot of money because we didn't have to, get a 1-bedroom apartment or whatever it was by ourselves. So that was great. We split the bills with that, saved that money, was able to take my month off, which ended up turning into 3 months, but that's fine. And that was that. I feel like I lost my train of thought. Oh, so I was asked what I packed. So I packed a suitcase with like not that many clothes because I was like, I'm going to Atlanta. If I'm going to Atlanta, I'm gonna shop. So I bought a couple things, like go-to jeans, shirts, some loungewear. I brought my scrubs with me because they wanted us to wear Caribbean blue. If you don't know what Caribbean blue looks like, my first video, I'm wearing a Caribbean blue scrub top. This is regular navy blue Figs, my favorite brand right now. Scrub top, scrub set, period. I love Figs. This is not a plug because they don't send me anything free, just saying. So I packed that blue suitcase. We didn't need to bring any like furniture. We didn't need to bring like a microwave or like any appliances because the apartment that we got was completely furnished. All we had to do was buy groceries and bring our personal belongings. So of course I have my laptop, I have my suitcase. I needed one of those like 3-tier storage bins just to put like my products. And that was pretty much all I needed. That fit in the back of my car and drove my butt right over to Atlanta, Georgia. 13-hour ride. Won't do that again. What else I want to talk about? So you guys asked me about packing, about Atlanta, about local assignments versus normal travel assignments. I can't think of anything else, but bear with me, y'all. I'm gonna make more videos. I'm gonna do more, even if it's just like short videos on at my Instagram page. I do more on my Instagram page than I do on YouTube, but some people have asked me to do YouTube videos, so here I am. If there's anything else that you would like me to talk about, anything else related to nursing, period, ER nursing, the transition between going from staff to, you know, being just a travel nurse, your first assignment, what to do. I mean, I don't know. Whatever you guys want to know, just let me know. And I promise that it will not take me 8 months to create a second or a third video. So I hope I answered most of your questions. I hope I wasn't super annoying. I don't really have a lot of small talk. I just want to answer your questions. But that's it. TTYL.